You didn't see it, I don't have to admit it, but I can already tell you I made a big dead spot in the grass. I'm Matt, and this is Procrastination Garage. It's Sunday morning, 7:15 a.m., and we are rolling into the meetup point. So far, only one person has bailed out of the ride. Just passed my friend Brad's house, and his truck is gone, so I'm guessing that means he's on his way. So we'll see. Looks like we've got about 10 people in the group. Today's ride will be a family-friendly ride, not as family-friendly as we get. We've got some people coming along that don't usually ride with us, and it's good that they're going to join us. It's always fun to have more. And the snow conditions are such to where it's not really epic snow to where there'd be great off-trail riding anyway. So a nice groomed trail ride will be fun. At least we're getting out and riding. There's so many people that are just kind of snubbing their nose, like, there's not enough snow yet to ride. Yeah, it's all in what you make it. The season's short. You better get out there and ride. So it's super foggy down here, but we'll easily get above this. In fact, may get out of it shortly after going through Natchez. And if not, we'll certainly be out of it by the time we get up to the snow park. And even if we're not out of it then, we'll get out of it as we start climbing higher. So I expect we're going to have a blue sky day. Last time I looked at the weather forecast, there was about a 0% chance of precip today. And so that tells me that we're going to have some blue sky and some good view of the mountains if we get to the right spot. Can you tell? We made it to Natchez. Yeah, still pretty foggy. But I keep seeing what I think is a glimpse of sun up above, so I think we'll be out shortly. Yep, so far there's only one vehicle here. Well, maybe two. The meetup time was 8:15. It's now 8:30, and we just rolled out of the parking lot. Good turnout. Only one person dropped out. That was the guy that dropped out early this morning. We've got, I'm guessing, 13, 14, maybe 15 in our group. We've done well. Of course, while we're waiting, we're kind of sitting around talking about our Ford problems. And then we're getting ready to leave. And Brad, my neighbor with the 7.3 diesel, his truck wouldn't start. I loaned my jumper cables, and we had to jump it with a GMC of all things. Oh well, we're on our way to snow and fun now. See there? We're already breaking out. It's gonna be a lovely day. Look at that, a beautiful day, just like that. You break out of it. And in case you're wondering, today is New Year's Eve day. So tomorrow will be 2024. In the last video I mentioned my wife and I came up to check out the snow and snow parks, and this is where we had lunch yesterday. Gold Creek Station, home of world famous fish and chips. As I've noted before, I'm not sure how you have world famous fish and chips when you're in the mountains of central Washington. But hey, who am I to say? I actually had their prawns and fries meal yesterday, but we ordered an appetizer, which was a big giant soft pretzel that you dipped in some nacho cheese sauce. Man, that was good. I would get that again in a heartbeat. Did you hear that squeak? Something is rubbing on the back door, and it's driving me crazy. To our turnoff, Little Natchez Road. And she's a little slick. snowmobile trail, sharp right into the snow park parking lot. There's most of our group. There's the rest. My friend Brad dropped out because of his alternator not charging in his Super Duty. And then these scumbags over here, people that don't register their snowmobiles or get snow park permits. Yep.
Think she's sweet as candy. I know you wanna be with her, but Josie got a reputation, a scratch behind that purr. She's got her little game perfected. She'll let you think you have control, and then one day when you least expect it, she'll steal away your soul. It's so easy when you think you're winning, but she's got herself another plan. You think you're being clever like a modern man, but Josie has the upper hand. I know you're not to blame, and there's no shame in falling for her siren, but while you're still a man.
Just after 4 p.m., loaded up, leaving the snow park. So we started the ride with 13 today. We rode out to the warming hut at Government Meadows, and then when we left Government Meadows, about 5 in our group decided to head back, mainly because there were some little ones along and they were getting kind of fussy, and so they came straight back, and the rest of us, we rode some more and found some really cool stuff. So anyway, headed home on New Year's Eve. Hope my wife's got a big party planned. Haha. It's Wednesday morning, about 10 a.m. and we do have a project with the truck this morning, or today, because we're going snowmobiling tomorrow, and I have an issue with getting the snowmobile in and out of the truck, so we've got to tackle that. But before we do, we've got to get back inside the house and do something. You may remember this view in the house from a couple videos back, and I remember commenting about my wife being thrilled about this being inside the house and me working on it. Well, she got her Christmas wish, or maybe it was her Christmas nightmare, that this would be in the house through Christmas. Not only was it through Christmas, but through New Year's, and we're not even close to being done. I was hoping to be painting it by now. Sometimes things just don't work out. So today we're going to do as much as we can with this, which basically, this side you're seeing right here, the top part, needs one more coat of glue, and then that needs 2 coats of glue. And then the part that's down on the ground needs 2 coats of glue. I'm not sure everything dries enough to where I can get it all done in one day. I did the far end over there. See Bear out there, he's trying to decide if he wants to come back in or not. That side there, I did get the second coat on it. And we just, whoops, that's the bottom. And then around the top section here, we're just going to brush some glue on a little bit. That won't be a big deal. We'll be able to get that done. So anyway, let's get some glue on this before we go outside and work. I've got the final coat on this this side here, so we'll let that dry. Also, out in the pump house, I put a couple coats on a couple pieces I had out there. In fact, they're the pieces that go on the very bottom of the sled. They're going to be painted black, and I think they're coated now, so hopefully we get some black paint on them in this video sometime. Let's go work on the green truck now. What's the issue, you say? It's this piece of it's a tailgate protector, part of the bed liner, and I've got one bolt that's pulled out. I've got another bolt there that's missing. I'm not sure. Should be one in this area. I think we need to replace several of them. And the only easy way to do it is going to be to unload the sled and then figure out how many bolts we need, head down the hardware store, pick them up, and come back and fix it. So let me get the sled out. Step 1 is complete. Got the sled out. Now let's go ahead and assess the damage. We have one fastener holding everything. That fastener there is the only thing holding it. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that one, and then we'll see how many fasteners have pulled through. I know we have a couple that pulled through. So let me get that done. Things are actually worse than I feared. So I thought these were threaded. They're not. They're basically a sheet metal screw. So we need to find some type of screw that's about that long, although I think we want a little longer because of the fact that we've been pulling out. I think I want to get a washer that'll fit in here, there and there, and put that underneath the screw. So we're going to need to find a little bit longer screw that's roughly that diameter, and then a washer that the screw goes down into that fits in here. So I'm going to go find a sample washer to take to the hardware store with me, grab some of these screws. We're going to take Mom's van. It hadn't been driven in a while, and I think it's got some tires in the back of it, the unstudded tires off of the Venza, and we're going to go put those away first, I think. I also know the interior of that thing smells of gas because I had a gas can tip over in there one of the last times I drove it. So that'll be fun, but it hadn't been driven in a while. Hopefully it starts. It's been like 3 weeks since I've even started. Basically, we need a combo that looks like that. We need 8 of them. Pick up an extra 1 or 2 for spares. So let's take the van down, see if we can dump the tires. We're taking bets. Will she start? Fires right up. Although procrastination was probably the biggest reason I haven't taken these tires back down and put them in the container, the other thing is I was hoping the ground would freeze up so I wouldn't risk getting stuck. Will we get back up out of here with this thing? My prediction is yes, since it's front wheel drive. It turns out those are actually the tires off the Mazda. I guess when I did the Venza, I must have hauled them in my pickup. All right, we're going for it. Again, it's not going to be an issue. Well, I'm spinning a little bit. There's one little spot there that's kind of muddy. We made it. First stop is Banner Bank to make a deposit into my secret bank account. You know, I get thousands of dollars from these YouTube videos and I haven't told my wife about it, so shh. All right, that trip to the bank was disappointing. I guess I was confused. It wasn't that I was depositing thousands of dollars, it's that YouTube is taking money from me because my videos aren't doing well enough. God, man, who knew? Just who knew? Helm's True Value. We'll see what we can find here. I think I've got something I can work with from Helm's. I ended up getting some stainless steel sheet metal screws that are 1.25 inches long, which is quite a bit longer than the originals, but I'm using a flat washer. I guess we'll find out. Can't go snowmobiling without some gas, so let's get some snowmobile gas. I like to support my local Cenex because they're owned by the Yakima Co-op, which is kind of a local outfit, but their price is a little bit higher. But today was kind of a challenge because the card reader on the side I was on didn't work, and that's not the first time that's happened. Anyway, we got 4 5-gallon cans filled with premium non-ethanol. We're happy. Gotta say, it's a little nippy out there. It's feeling like winter today. I did see the snow level came way down. New screws. Big ass Phillips screwdriver. Let's see if we can get it done. I gotta say, the first one went in real good. So if the other's going that easy, this is a done deal. Done deal. I'm happy with that. 8 screws in. Tight, not too tight. May not be tight enough. I don't know. The plastic wants to move around a little bit, so I didn't want to go too tight. But on the other hand, I didn't want the screws to back out. So let's get the snowmobile loaded back up, and then we need to gas and oil it and do some other things. So here's the conundrum. I said I was going to load the sled up and then gas and oil it, but it's easier to gas and oil it when it's down here on the ground. But when you do that, especially with the gas, if you leak any at all, then you risk a dead spot in your grass. So what's a guy to do? I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to do it down here. I'll take extra precautions and hope I don't spill any gas. But it beats having to hump stuff up into the back of the truck, and then you can't hardly get the side panel open to do the oil. It's just easier to do it out here in the grass. You didn't see it, I don't have to admit it, but I can already tell you I made a big dead spot in the grass. My damn funnel, it fights against this little bag here, and as I was pouring it in there, it worked its way out and spread gas everywhere. Oh well, what are you going to do? I'll just deal with, well, have a dead spot and it'll be one place I don't have to mow next summer. Even though I'm not planning on using the chainsaw tomorrow, I do want to put my little chainsaw rack back on the sled because I'm going to be carrying some extra snow flyer newspapers with me, and I want to strap them on there. And I think that's a good place to put them. So let's get that mounted back up. Now, if you haven't seen this before, the nice thing about it is I've got it set up to where just 4 wing nuts holds it on the back of the tunnel here. So it only takes a couple minutes. There, the snow flyer newspapers are all strapped down, ready for tomorrow's ride. I've got 4 packs of 15, one each to go to each of the warming huts up there where we're going. And we're back at Cenex, gassing up the truck. Maybe had enough fuel for tomorrow, maybe not, but didn't want to get caught having to do it tomorrow. So get this done, we'll get home and move on to another project. Hi, if you like the video content so far, please do me a favor and hit the like button and also subscribe. And if you don't like the video content so far, please hit the like button and please subscribe anyway. Thank you. So you're asking, what's the next project we're going to tackle? Well, see the sheet of MDF right here? I bought this a while back when I bought some OSB, and this is to build a shelf to go on the top of a desk that I had built for my daughter for her office. And the desk is nothing more than a door that's been painted and sitting on top of, I'm not sure what it's sitting on top of, bookshelves, I think. Anyway, so she wants a shelf on top of that that's 12 inches wide and sits about 8 inches tall. So we're going to cut some 12-inch strips out of this to make that. And then we'll have some left over to do something else with. But the real issue is I want to be able to get the UTV out. And it's just, since this plywood is right here, it's best to just cut it up and not move it and then have to move it again. Know what I mean? So let's get the strips cut that I need, and then we'll move on. I think I'm ready to cut. While the dimension is supposed to be 12 inches wide, it doesn't have to be perfect. So I just made a rough estimate. My saw blade away from the guide is about 1.25 inches. It's not exactly, but it's pretty close. So I've spaced my my little guide here at 13.25. So we'll run the saw right down here. That'll give us about a 12-inch piece. And I've got my bench cookies in place. Can you see them? I'll show them to you afterwards. That's what I'm using to keep everything spaced up. So let's get this cut. That's a bench cookie. That's a bench cookie that I actually hit with a saw. There's one that hasn't been hit with a saw. Anyway, they're just little spacers. They come from Rockler. And I have 12 of them, and I should get one more pack. It'd be nice to have 16. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, the top shelf is 12 inches wide. The support's holding it up. I'm just going to go ahead and cut one of these at 11 inches wide to make the supports. I probably will use 2 supports across the length of it. The total length of this, the shelf is going to be 80 inches. So I'm not sure. Let's see, this is 96 inches. So we'll need to cut about a foot, a little more than a foot off of it. But anyway, for now, we'll go ahead and make one more pass at 11 inches. I just went and measured for another shelf project in a bedroom, and I can cut the last 2 pieces about the same, 11 inches wide, and that will work nearly perfect. So that's what I'm going to do. It's Thursday morning, truck's warming up, and of course it's raining. It was raining harder. It's just about quit now. And actually, you see there's a little bit of blue sky poking through. The weather forecast is kind of marginal. It says for the next few hours there should be no precip. So we may have a window to do some snowmobiling this morning, and then it's supposed to start snowing early afternoon, well, maybe late afternoon. Anyway, we're headed to the Atanum State Forest, and let's go. So how do you get to the Atanum State Forest? Well, that's real easy. You just go down to Union Gap and turn on Atanum Road and follow it until you hit snow. Well, pretty much. You kind of got to stand in the North Fork when you get up there, but it's an easy snow park to get to. I left about 1 hour and 15 minutes before our meetup time. It takes about an hour to get there, and this way, if there's any snow on the road, as we get close to the snow park, I have a little extra time. And you know what? If I'm late, they'll forgive me. So far, we're right on schedule. Not raining. It's foggy. This kind of stuff we'll get above it. Maybe not at the snow park, but shortly thereafter. But there's probably clouds above, and who knows, we may still get some rain or some snow up here. So we were supposed to be a group of 4 today. One guy bailed this morning for having a cold, so I think we're going to be a group of 3. We'll see. It's a little after 3 p.m., loaded up and headed home. We accomplished our mission. We hit all 4 warming huts. I dropped off the Wassa Snow Flyer newspaper to all of them. And we had a pretty good ride. Weather was kind of a mixed bag. There towards the later part of the day we had a little bit of rain mixed in, which is kind of miserable when it gets on your goggles and stuff. But overall the ride was good. Snow wasn't too bad at higher elevations. Kind of limited in lower elevations, but that's what happens on a El Nino year. Now it's time to get home and start planning for the next ride, which looks to be Sunday, and that'll be the first ride of the season for my daughter. At least that's what we're hoping. So looking forward to that. We're going to go back up to Cold Creek because we've got to start doing our planning for our chili ride, which is a chili and hot dog feed coming up next weekend. The following weekend, and I'm in charge of that event, so looking forward to getting ready to do that. It's Friday, just afternoon time, and I'm just leaving Walmart, and the reason I was at Walmart is I was starting to stock up for the supplies I need for the chili ride next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend. So I was buying all the material to make chili and some other stuff, and as I was loading it into the car here, Mini Tow Beast, I realized that I have a project to do today. So maybe you've guessed then what that means. It means that the renter called and said that they'd filled up the little 4x8 trailer and needed to have it dumped again, and they wanted it back one more time. So after we get home and get rid of all this stuff in the car, we'll make a run over there and pick up the trailer. I'm home now, groceries are unpacked, I've eaten lunch, getting ready to head over to the rental to pick the trailer up, taking a few supplies. I know it's got a low tire, so I'm taking a little air tank, gauge, need a pair of gloves, maybe, I don't know. When I get back to unload, I will. We're going to take a license plate to make it look legal, and we've got a tarp in case I need to tarp it. And then last time I had a hard time lifting up the tongue because it was so heavy, and if it's super heavy, then I've got a jack to help me lift it up enough to get it on the ball. And then in the car already were the tow lights and a couple of tie-down straps. Let's get this loaded up and hit the road. Our renter has done a good job of cleaning this up. All trimmed up next to the road. This used to extend out a foot or two. Looking real good. Very nice. So the least we can do is get this hauled out of here. Obviously, need air in the tire. I'll take care of that. The best laid plans of mice and men, as they say. So I went to air it up, and the tire is off the wheel. I've lost a bead on the back side. And so now I'm using a strap, trying to fix it. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to before I run out of air. Stay tuned. It was touch and go, but I got it. Okay, now to let this side down. I need to put a little air on the other side. How much air do I have left? Nah, I've got 45 pounds or so, maybe 50. We're all right. All strapped down, low on air on both tires. Pretty sketch, but we'll get it home. As expected, I made it. Now let's get that unloaded, put on the burn pile. The trailer is dumped. You can hear it rattling back behind me. The wise thing to do would be to air the tires up before I take this back to the rental. But I'm concerned. I want to make sure I get it back over there before the missus gets home, because I think she would block where I park it. So I'm just going to run it over there. I know I need to air it up next time I go get it anyway, so we'll be better prepared than this time. So now we're headed up through the mud, getting a little all-wheel drive Suzuki Do It, towing the trailer. I suspect it can. Worst case, I can always lock the center differential, but I don't think we'll need to. Oh yeah, we're through. Piece of cake. All right, let's get it dropped off. Kind of cloudy, but can you see the mountains over there? There's snow on them. Snow level came down pretty far. This is good for snowmobile season, but so far there just hadn't been a whole lot of depth, just little storms. And she's back. It's Saturday, about 2:30 in the afternoon, and of course I've been procrastinating. I've got things I got to get done. I need to get my snowmobile out of the green truck. I need to get the little Bravo out of the white truck. We need to get the camper loaded back on the white truck, and then we need to get the white truck hooked up to the snowmobile trailer. All because we're going riding tomorrow. So let me just show you as I get it done. My sled is unloaded. Now let's get the sled out of the white truck. We're ready to put the camper back on the truck. Let me get her backed under there and dropped on it. Trailer's all hooked up, tires are all aired up, airbags on the truck are taken care of, electrical's plugged in, and look, right now I do not have any stray lights on the trailer. We'll keep an eye on that as the evening progresses. Again, we're kind of blocking the road here, get the snowmobile loaded. Still need to gas and oil it, but we're pretty much done for the day. Good thing too, because the sun's starting to set lower in the horizon over there. All right, why didn't one of you guys tell me I had one too many sleds in the trailer already? I forgot I'd parked the two that had been outside during the camping trip. I just pulled them in. So the one on the left rear there, that one is coming out. All right, so I had to do a bit of jockeying. The problem was that the orange sled there has a little bit longer track than the one that I took out. And usually that one is loaded from the front, so it's facing the rear. So in order to make them fit this direction, without moving the orange one all the way over to this side, I basically need to move my daughter's sled over to this side because her machine is shorter than mine, and that left lots of room to load mine. Mine's got a 154-inch track. Hers has a 137-inch track. That one there has got a 144-inch track. And the one we took out over there has a 136-inch track, and it all makes a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and close up the back, get out of the road, and then I'm going to come back in and gas this machine up. I think we're all done back here. Sleds are gassed and oiled. I think we're good. Just seal up the back. Since all we're doing tomorrow is going for a ride, you may wonder why I wanted to get the camper on there. The camper makes a great changing room. I can actually turn on the heat before I leave the house. By the time we get to the snow park, the camper is nice and warm, change clothes in. The other reason is because next weekend is our camping trip, and since I knew I was going to hook the trailer up, I just figured it'd be easier to get everything hooked and loaded right now. This way I don't have to disconnect the trailer at all next week. So we'll just have to do some configuring for the camping trip, and that'll probably start on Monday, which I think will be in a different video. That's the end of this week's Procrastination Garage. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. So what do we do? Well, mainly we either prepared to go snowmobiling or we went snowmobiling, which didn't leave a whole lot of time for projects in between. But we got a couple things done, so that's good. Down in the comments, tell me about the projects you're procrastinating about, or tell me about the projects you're completing, either or. Remember, the #1 goal of Procrastination Garage is to keep me motivated, to get me working out in the shop, out in the yard, up in the mountains, at the cabin, something. So I'm not just sitting around watching YouTube and TikTok videos all day like you guys are doing. No, I don't mean that, because I do it too. I hope you'll come back next week for another episode of Procrastination Garage. Remember, my name's Matt, and we'll see you then. Thanks.